And here we are. It's Thursday, man, March 11th. "8:08 in the morning," like Kanye West. 8:08. What the hell are you doing? Hope you had a good night. Hope you had a good sleep. If you're in New York or in another part of the world, it might not be the morning time, but it's always a good time for a morning coffee. Cheers, even if it's Monster. Coffee cheers to everyone. This episode of the Morning Coffee Family is brought to you by our official mugs. If you want to be an official member of the Morning Coffee Family, you got to have the mug, man. I actually got a picture of one sent to me on Instagram yesterday. That's the first one I've seen in the wild. The mugs are at malandarras.com/mug. They're pretty great. I'm surprised at the quality of Teespring's accessories, home accessories, I guess you'd call them. And I would say, if you want to sell mugs and stuff, Teespring is not a bad idea. They have their own design system in there, its own interface. You can add text, add images right there in their interface. Makes it pretty easy. So coffee cheers to easy. Now, as always, let's get things started by looking in the chat and seeing what's going on with you folks. And while I do that, do me a favor and like this video right now, or your karma will be screwed for the day. We got to shout out Kim, who is our #1 chat poster every day. And I don't know if Kim is a male or female or something in between. Kim, I don't know how you identify, but you are the king, queen, or the whatever of the chat. So hello to you. August, what's happening? Says Kim is always first. Yep. Coffee mugs everywhere. August, Sacred Beats is here. Yo, yo, yo. Roshni Gandhi is here with us. Good morning. Coffee cheers to everyone. Gene's here. My man, Gene Morris, who I know in real life. It's been a while. Jay Farley, what's happening? Was just looking at your thread in Mad Society earlier. He's going through the dip, y'all. That dip when a campaign is working for like days and a week and more. And then it flatlines and starts losing money for multiple days, and it's a horror show. But he's riding the roller coaster, and the post I saw today, he was back in the green, so that's good. We'll talk more about that. Remind me. Jay Farley. We got August. We got Young Entrepreneur. What's up? We got Ahmed, Sarab, Mark, Jonatas. DMG is finally here for the first time ever. Coffee cheers, DMG. Kim is a male. All right, cool. Yeah, you never know, man. Kim is one of those names that you could be a guy, you could be a girl, you could be anything. You could be whatever you want. Kim is the royalty of the chat. All right. So Kim is currently the king of the chat. The only way you can dethrone the king is to get here early and post the first chat comment. Good luck, because Kim shows up and gets it done. Also, Kim gave me a good tip on trailing stops and seems to be into the investing thing. So good times. Great to have you here. Young Entrepreneur is here. Says Kim is the royalty of the chat. Micah's posting coffee mugs. Sacred Beats says the name can be used for either gender. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Billy Bell is here with a coffee mug. Him or herself. So here's what, we'll just go off of where we started. Jay Farley's a member of Mad Society. We'll start with marketing today. And the post that I responded, he was having a hard time and was open and honest about having a mental struggle with losing money the last few days after many weeks of making money. And digital marketing, affiliate marketing, whatever you want to call it, is one of those things that goes up and down. Like life or a relationship, or your relationship with your friends and family or whatever, it goes up and down. And life, wait a minute, can I tie that in? In the morning, we're going to talk about death. I think we should. One of the ways I look at affiliate marketing campaigns that you probably never heard from anyone before is I think about them like death. There's a quote for you. Affiliate marketing campaigns are kind of like death. They're kind of like life. They're going to end. And when a campaign ends, it dies. And when life ends, you die. And everyone you know is going to die. And every marketing campaign that you run is going to die. So what I do lately is I kind of ruminate on the thought that everyone I know is going to die, and that I'm going to die. And you can maybe that order will be reversed. But if I expect it and I understand that it's part of life, then when it happens, it doesn't feel like so much of a shock or a tragedy. Now, it's still awful when someone dies or something ends. But if you understand that it's going to end before it ends, then you're not in shock and utter surprise, and it doesn't destroy your life. Affiliate marketing is the same way. The campaign's going to fail at some point. It's going to end. So expect it. And if you expect it, then when it happens, it won't be so much of a shock or an awe or an emotional letdown. You can say to yourself, well, there it was. I knew it was going to happen at some point, and there it is. And another thing I like to say is only good things happen. So if and when the campaign does fail, it may open the door to some other opportunity that's going to 10x what you were doing before. That's part of the mental game of life and affiliate marketing. There's your first thought of the day. We're 9 minutes in. All right, we've got a good crowd in here. You guys do me a favor, and if you want to get the mojo going for the day, you want to get the energy going for the day, press like on the video. Let's see how many of you will do it. What I've been learning from other streamers that I watch is that if people are actively watching and liking the video, there it goes, click the thing. You're too cool to click it? Don't be too cool, man. Don't ever try to be too cool. You're never too cool. That's where people get stuck. You got to be the idiot that you truly are. I've learned this in this part of my life. You just have to be the weirdo, idiot, lunatic, or the boring, whatever, whoever you are. Just be that. Christopher Lowe says bonjour with coffee. Sacred Beats is talking about the waves of buying traffic. Yeah, it is waves, man. It's like surfing and roller coasters. And it's like getting hit by a car sometimes. Salih says, hey man, hey Malan, hope you're doing well. Thanks for all this. You bet. Here's a good one. Young Entrepreneur says, I first subscribed like 3 years ago when I watched a NGO interview. Charles. Subbed for the marketing and stayed for the good energy. That's awesome. Yeah, some of you guys have been around for, some of our people here have been around for 6, 7 years. And I even dipped out for a year or maybe even 2. when I decided I didn't want to be a YouTube streamer anymore. I wanted to be a sad, dark musician and hide out in my house and write sad songs. But what I've been working on lately is understanding that I have layers like an onion. And I'm not really just a musician, and I'm not really just an affiliate marketer, I'm not really just a mental patient. I'm all of those things at all times. And I'm good with that. Young entrepreneur, I like it. He says, life is risky. There is a 100% chance of dying. There we go. We got a few likes going. We are threatening. We're always in range of beating the concurrent viewers records, but we haven't lately. But we're doing good. In the blink of an eye, enough time to define life in a quote. That's right, DMG. Jen Wick with the coffee mugs and the skulls of death. That's great. What's up, Fresh Whiskey? We got Fresh Whiskey in the house. There's a new name. Akal is here. Death is certain, right? Silver says it is 6:18 p.m. in Estonia, Europe, by the way. Cool, man. Europe cheers. Evening cheers to you. Well, it's morning time here and it's cold and rainy. When you live in California, you know, when I lived in Oklahoma, it was always, you got a lot of weather in Oklahoma. Everything from tornadoes to ice storms to heat waves to flash floods. In California, you basically have sunny and 75 for 90% of the time. Then 5% of the time you have fire and earthquakes. And then 5% of the time you have cold and rain. So when you live without cold and rain for the majority of your year, when it hits, it's beautiful, man. We should start a Discord server so we can hang out all the time. I haven't used Discord ever, but most of the people that stream on YouTube have a Discord server. The people in Mad Society have asked for a Discord server before too. I'm not opposed to it. I'll look into it. Great question just popped in from DMG. Let's talk about that for a minute. It says, if you could grow up anywhere, where would that be and why? And I would grow up exactly where I grew up, in the woods in Oklahoma. I grew up in the woods of Bing, B-Y-N-G, Oklahoma, out in the middle of nowhere, no neighbors, you know, broke, living in a shack, 7 people. Dozens of cats around, wild, just outside cats. You know, garden in the front yard. Acres and acres of land that we didn't own. We rented a little shack out there. I would choose to do that exactly again, because it was one of the greatest adventures of my life. And I feel like growing up in that way kind of gave me an edge over people who didn't. It was pre-internet, no money, bunch of family around, and Not much else. Jay says, you grew up in a town called Bing. Yeah, but Bing, Oklahoma is B-Y-N-G. So shout out to anybody seeing this from Bing, Oklahoma. At the time, I bet there was 1,000 people that lived there. And every time I visit that area, Ada, I go back and I drive down this dirt road and I try to, well, it's paved now, but I try to find our house. And one of the last times I went down there, I couldn't find where our house was. It burned down a long time ago, but I always go out there and try to find the spot. And, you know, it smells the same, it sounds the same, grasshoppers, locusts, all that sound. You know, the heat and the humidity. And you look around and the land is the same, like the shape of the land is really the same. But now there's a nice house there, you know, they've got a nice place. I would love to one day buy the house that they built on that property. I mean, in Oklahoma, you can pick houses up in that area for $100,000, which is less than the down payment on a home in LA. But it would be so wild. It would be so wild to go out there and buy that house and live out there. There are a few houses in that area that I'd like to have. I'd like to own all of the houses that we lived in. And they were just shacks. You know, a lot of them were just low. When you look on Zillow and view the real estate prices in that area, I mean, the houses we lived in, you could buy a house like that in the same town right now for 50 grand, 30 grand. It'd be fun to go back and have them all. But there are definitely a few. My grandfather lived in a house. I'd love to have that one. My other grandparents had a house in Allen. I'd love to have that one. It'd be so fun to go back out there and just live. Aditya says, hey Malan, your fan from Mauritius. I don't even know where that is, my man. Or my friend. I have no clue. Sacred Beats, what's up? Do you test new ad images every single day on a profitable campaign? Nope. I usually set up a campaign with 5 or 10 ads. If none of them work, I make a new campaign, but if usually one ad starts to profit, I'll pause everything else and run that one ad till the wheels fall off. And then what I'll do is usually start a new campaign with new ads, 5 or 10 new ones, and I'll kind of let that one percolate while the one main campaign is hopefully, you know, profitable. And that way when it inevitably dies out, I have some new stuff going on in another campaign that doesn't interrupt the profitable campaign. And it has a very low spend here. Like if it's making money up here, my budget's wide open. But on the test, if you add new images to that campaign, you risk it spiraling out of control with a terrible ad that gets impressions and clicks, but no sales. So I'll set up a small test campaign that runs at a fraction of the daily budget of the profitable campaign. Fresh Whiskey showing up with the chaos questions. If you could be any product sold in a sex shop, what would you be? My God, who knows? I don't even have a funny answer for that. Haven't been in a sex shop in a while. Young entrepreneur says, if you were starting all over with no money, but you have the knowledge you have now, which online work would you do? I'd do exactly what I'm doing right now. I would sell other people's products for a profit. Or I would sell my own digital products. Specifically, I say digital products because physical products, there's a whole cornucopia of shit you have to do. You have to build a product. You have to make a physical thing. You have to put it in a box. You have to ship it. You have to pay postage. You have to send it to someone's house. Maybe it breaks during shipping. Maybe they don't like it. They want to send it back. I would make a digital product. Educational. I did do that for a while in the beginning. I was selling a ClickBank ebook, and it was doing really well. My first thing that did really well. And I duplicated it, changed the title, updated the copy a little bit, and I started selling it myself. I created my own version of it on ClickBank. Problem was I didn't make it as unique as I should have. So the original product owner complained. And ClickBank paused it and asked me some questions. And so I moved the checkout to PayPal. And then they complained to PayPal, and PayPal stopped me as well. So I took it down, and I found another product to promote that was similar, and it actually did better. Now, if I could go back in time, instead of duplicating the other person's product, I would have made my own distinct product in the same niche, using very similar language and copy, but make it unique enough to where I would be impenetrable, because it was working very well. And now, instead of making a sale, I think I was getting their product, you know, those ebooks are like $47. And I think they were paying me $18.50, $21.50, something like that. And now I was making $47 a sell, so I doubled my money real quick, and I was making just as many sales, so everything doubled immediately. And it lasted about a week, and then it got shut down, and I moved on with my life. But I probably missed an opportunity to recreate it in a unique way. Because that's how a lot of people make a lot of money on ClickBank. I actually met one of the guys that I was running a product for on ClickBank. He flew into LA to meet me because we were doing big numbers. And he talked about his business model, and he said, I just look for the things on ClickBank that are working really well. We make our own version of it. It's unique with its own brand, and we load them up and put them out there and run it for a while. And he does that dozens and dozens of times a year. Some work, some don't. I'm reading you guys' comments. They're hilarious. If someone sneezed near your physical product, they will sue you. You have to deal with people in drop shipping. Do you always start with offers and landers that are working for others? What's up, exclusives? Not always, I'd say, but like 85, 90% of the time. That said, the biggest campaign I have ever run, I built from scratch. It was around a product that was already being sold by other people using certain landing pages and ads. And I came up with a completely out-of-the-box idea that was inspired by a conversation I had with a friend on Instant Messenger of some kind back then. And it exploded. because no one had ever seen it before. But that was one campaign out of, well, maybe 2 campaigns out of every campaign I've ever run have been that way. My first ever campaign, I didn't really know that you could find other people's landing pages and do what they were doing. So I spent a painstaking week of throwing up landing page after landing page and getting 0 clicks, no click-throughs. Spend $50, 0 click-throughs. The next day, spend $50, 0 clicks. And I put a new landing page. Spend $50, 1 click-through. Hey, progress. And then I finally figured it out. I used a template that I was using, that I'd found, and I put the same copy in it, and I spent $50 and made 2 sales for about $90. And I went, oh my God. So I went through a manual just flipping of ideas, idea after idea. And I ran that for a year or 2, that same page. That one ran for a long time, off and on. And it was it was unique. No one ever even stole it. No one ever even copied it, because they were all copying this other style. One person copied it, and I tried to have him shut down, and it found out it was a friend of mine's brother. So we let it slide. He was really the only one. And then a few other of my friends duplicated as well. I didn't mind. But that's 2 campaigns out of hundreds of campaigns. Now I think that my skill, and this is a great skill to have, my skill is improvement. And I can take what you're doing, like this is one of my superpowers in this game. I can take what you're doing, use it as the baseline, and then improve it to a dramatic degree. So if you're running a page and you're making 80% ROI, in most cases, I can improve that by another 50%, 25%. Just using the tactics and stuff that I've seen from, hundreds and hundreds of tests. Yo, we're into this. We're 30 minutes in. My God, these go fast. And we are threatening at the same time concurrent viewership. We're threatening a record right now. If you're watching this, hit the like button and we just need a couple of more people here and we'll beat it. We can do it. You guys send out some good vibes and I'll look in your questions and see what answers I can come up with. Did you copy Fat Lot? No. Bolo. What's up, Bolo? Bolo has entered the chat. Right now we're closer to beating the record than we've been in days. That's so funny. At the end of the streams, it shows a report of how many concurrent viewers you had, how many total viewers, how much time was watched. So we're looking at a record right now. Hey Gene, and that friend you asked about, I won't say his name, but he's expecting a daughter this year in August. So we're all proud of our man for making a little gal that we shall meet later this year. Exclusive says, thanks for sharing, dude. You bet, man. I hope whatever I say helps. And the funny thing is, as we're talking, I'm kind of playing guitar and I just go into this little subconscious world in my head, or whatever you want to call it, unconscious. And I talk and I say things and it goes, we're doing this a while. This isn't like a planned 5-minute video where I come on and go, split testing headlines is the best way to improve your ROI. None of that. You guys just ask questions and I sit here and play guitar and look out the window and talk. And if during those moments I say something you can use, that's awesome. This is hilarious. Young entrepreneur says, my first ever money I made was a $120 check from ClickBank that I couldn't cash in my country. That sucks, man. I used to run so much ClickBank traffic that the guy that I rented my first guest house from when I moved to LA in 2008, I would say for minimum a decade, he would call me and go, hey man, I've got a pile of checks here for you. You got a pile of mail and they all look like checks. And they were small checks, but there were lots of them. And over the years, I just stopped. He used to send them to me, and at some point I said, just don't worry about it, man. Just throw them away or whatever. And then a friend of mine turned me on to a service that will find any missing money that you're due. If you guys have never done this, Google like government money I'm due. And you will probably find that there is some money sitting around that you can get. You just have to find it, apply to get it, and they'll send it to you. And it's stuff like old electric bills. Maybe you had a credit with the electric company and they weren't able to find you. They sent the check and it was never cashed. At some point it gets turned over to, I believe, a government agency. And they hold all of that information. And if you contact them, they'll show you a listing of all the money that they're holding for you. It's free money. And I searched myself with it and found thousands and thousands of dollars in ClickBank checks and other little things. And I actually had a huge balance from an old ad account that I had left a lot of money in and I guess forgot about it. And it had been years, so I forgot about it. And so I hired a company, and what they do is they found it all for me. That's how I found out. This company emailed me. I thought it was a scam. They said, hey, we found X amount of money, a significant amount of money for you. Enough that it caught my eye, like, wow. But I figured it was a scam because the number was so big. But then I researched them and it was legit. And what they do is they're genius. They go search those things out. They contact you, the person who's owed money, and they say, you know, for 10% or 20%, we'll handle all of this for you. Here's the dollar amount, minus our 10 or 20%. We'll just send you, you'll get a check in the mail. All we need you to do is approve us. And so I said, what the hell? I approved them. I said, let's see what you can do. And I got a big fat check in the mail. And it was all those old ClickBank checks I had never cashed. And it was some significant money that I had accidentally left in a very old PPC network. And luckily they had turned it into this, you know, whatever money owed system. And I was able to get it back. Years later, 5-6 years later. That's an affiliate problem. A lot of times we move so fast, especially when campaigns are going really well. And you're loading up ad networks with money, and then you find something else that works really well, like let's say you're advertising on Facebook, and it stops working for you, but you've got $3,000 in the balance in your account. And you get on Google and it explodes, and you start making tons of money, and you just completely forget about this thing. And if you do this for several months, this just goes away. You don't even think about it. I know a lot of affiliates who have done a sweep of all their old ad accounts and found in the high 4 figures of money that they just accidentally left in places. Let's see what you guys are talking about. If there was a food, what food would you be? I don't have any idea. DMG says, let's break a record. And yeah, the numbers dipped, so we're no longer near the record. It's weird. There's like a peak. In the beginning, it's kind of small. And then in the middle of the video, it peaks. And then it kind of trails off. So it's all good. We'll just keep showing up and we'll see what happens. Billy Bell says, I listened to Neil Young yesterday after you said you really liked him. It was so good to hear Heart of Gold and Old Man Again, plus others. Thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a house where Old Man was played regularly. It was one of those songs that was like a soundtrack of my childhood. I just remember hearing it hundreds of times. And when I saw Neil Young live on that live TV show, when he's probably 19 or 21, and he plays that song, I mean, I had tears in my eyes because his voice was so raw and young and pure and unbelievably high. So glad I could help. Aditya says, have you ever done Black Hat? I messed around with some Black Hat stuff back in the day. Small time, testing things. Not anymore. I feel like that's an outdated technology, outdated style. And it's much easier to learn how to play the game by playing with the rules. Because if you can figure out how to make a campaign profitable without being Black Hat, it can go for forever. Whereas Black Hat's kind of like grimy and dirty. You get in, you get banned, and you hope to make some money before you get banned. I don't like that game. What's up, Jen Strawman? How you doing? How you doing? DMG has $1 in Text Broker. I used to use Text Broker. They would write really terrible articles for me for my websites for free. And I didn't use them for my actual landing pages. I used them for the filler content. You know, sometimes a traffic source wants to see a complete website. You can't just have a landing page. You have to have like mygreatreviews.com, and it has to have articles and a Twitter profile and all these things. And so I would pay Text Broker to write my content. And it was awful, but it did the job. Seems like I used them for some other stuff too. Maybe writing up, what do you call it? Transcribing videos. I used to use them a lot. He says Text Broker is basically a sweatshop for writers. Yeah, I don't know. But I know that the prices are so cheap that the people writing can't be making much. But to be honest with you, man, before I got heavy into the CPA advertising and stuff, I used to do little things online to make any money that I could. And I was thrilled with $10 a month. You know, I was writing articles for a news website. And if your article got popular, you got paid on the views and the likes and the clicks. And I had, you know, months where I'd make like $40 and I would be through the roof. That was exciting to me. $40, that's like, to me, that was significant. I remember living in Dallas and I'd find a way to make an extra $6 a week. Or $6 a couple times a week. And to me, that was huge. I couldn't believe it. You know, a friend of mine is the one that turned me on to this kind of a thing. He worked at a pizza place and he delivered pizzas, and every day they'd have extra pizzas left over that they would either throw away or the staff would eat. And so he got wise and he started packing up 2 or 3 of those pizzas. And he would go to the, what do you call it, 7-Eleven. And he would stand out there with pizzas and go, $5 medium pizza right here. You know, we messed up on this one. Anybody wants it? It's this. You know, he'd try $7, and he told me he was making like $8 a day doing that or something. And I remember just being blown away, like, wow, because that was beer money. You know, that was a 12-pack of cheap beer. That's a case of cheap beer. And so I started trying to find ways to make extra money too, and I do silly stuff like that too. Gene says he's using Text Broker right now. What do you use it for, Gene? Is it for landing page copy or filler content, or are they transcribing things for you? I'd be interested to know what you're using it for right now. Young Entrepreneur says, and true to the entrepreneur name, he said, I used to sell YouTube subscribes on Fiverr. I made like 60 bucks and it meant the world to me. Yeah, man, that's the first steps. When you start to learn that you can make $60 on Fiverr, whether it's $60 a month or whatever, to me, that's that first thing, like, oh my God, if you grew up like I did, like money was hard to come by. And the way that people like us got money was you like shoveled gravel, or you built, you did construction. You worked you cleaned up, worked in a fiberglass factory. You installed asbestos into places that no one wanted to go into. You swept floors, or you laid bricks. And to imagine that you could make $60 on Fiverr selling YouTube subscribers, I mean, especially if you figure that out young, like as a teenager, 60 bucks a month, man, that would be killing it when I was a teenager. That'd be all the money you need in the whole world. Because, the way we grew up, we didn't have allowance. We didn't even get lunch money. We just got dropped off at school and you were kind of on your own. And, that was the best that we could do. And I think that everyone should be at least augmenting their income with the internet. If you're not, you're crazy. It's right there. There's 1,000 different ways to do it. Everything from like selling your arts and crafts on eBay or Etsy, or selling clothes. I mean, eBay flipping is one of the easiest ways to make money there is. Go to the store, go to Walmart or Target, find something that's 75% off, and then put it on eBay for the regular price. It's brand new, regular price. You make 70%. So if the item is usually, $100 and you find it for 30, you sell it on eBay for 100 and you make $70. Bam. Then repeat that as many times as you can. Gene says he's paying 40 bucks an article and it's good for us. Macro finance, investing content. That's cool. Yeah, I think I was going the cheap route. I was getting my articles for like 4 bucks. Or I would send them an article and say, rewrite this. I'm sure they do have that upper tier, and they are people that can actually write. Because look, man, for 40 bucks per article, if you're a good writer, you could do a couple of those a day. How many articles a day could you write? If that was your job, 5, 10? You could probably do 10 articles a day. If you worked 8 straight hours, that'd be $400 a day. And that's enough. August is asking where. It's called Text Brokers. I think it's textbrokers.com. It's definitely better than Fiverr as far as writers go, or what's the other one that I used to use? Odesk, which I think they changed the name a long time ago. Okay, so that's marketing. Let's take a little break here. If you're watching the video, give it a like. We need about 10 more people to hit to beat the concurrent viewer record. That's it. Kim says if you're a top-notch content writer, you can get 100 to 150 per article. Yeah, if you could get one of those a day, like you don't need a job. You can live a life. You can live a life, one of those a day. You do 10 of them a day, you're making $1,000 a day. Money's out there. Go get it. Let's see, I've got a couple of stocks I want to look at real quick and check my affiliate stuff. So you guys hang tight. I have some auto sales for the stocks, but they haven't hit those numbers yet. Uh-oh. New campaign just got its first sale. I'm down with that. 775% ROI. But of course, that's on almost no clicks. It's brand new, just starting. And so that's a good sign, good start. But it won't last. Those ROIs never hold. In fact, that's one of the only constants that you can depend on in affiliate marketing is as you scale, ROI will go down. So there's two games we played, high ROI or high volume. Are we buying calls on GME? I don't know anything about options trading yet, Gene. I know that it looks like it's way more lucrative potentially than buying and selling stocks, you know, and trying to time things. It looks like I saw a guy yesterday who spent $3,000 on GME calls, and if GME hit, what was the number he said? There was a certain number, if it hit it, if he was going to make 6 figures on a $3,000 bet. But this was an astronomical number. Like if it really gamma squeezed up and hit 1,000 or 5,000 or whatever. And then they were talking about AMC as well. If he had some calls on AMC, again, it was 2, 3, 4,000 that he was risking. And I think if AMC hit over 20, he would make over 100,000 profit. So it looks like it's an interesting way to go. But I'm actually doing pretty good with what I'm doing right now. And if these 2 trades that I have go through today, not only will I beat my previous record, which is modest, but it will be a 10x of that record if I hit it today. It'll be a 10x. So look, man, I'm taking a lot of risk and playing this game, and it's really, really fun. Of course, it's yet another thing to be obsessive over, so gotta watch that. But right now, my days revolve around music, marketing, campaigns, you know, and that stuff, and then the day trading. Every once in a while, I eat. You gotta risk it for the biscuit. That's right, man. Let's see, Gene said, I bought a $150 call just the other day for fun. It squeezed pretty hard and unsold. Around 8K in profits. Buying on leverage is the way to go if you know what you're doing. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been seeing, stuff like that. So you spent $2,700 and made 8K in profits, is that true? Because it says pretty hard and unsold. So did you unsell it? But yeah, there's people making tons of money right now doing that with GME. But see, risking $2,700 for 8K in profits, that's worth it. Oh, okay, so you did sell out and realize the profits. That's dope, man. Good for you, dude. Hell, I've had years in my life where I made less than $8 grand. I remember signing, I worked at Subway Sandwiches when I was like 18, 19. And the boss set us down to help us file our taxes for the first time ever. We filled out the form or whatever. And I remember my taxable income being $6 grand for the year. So you beat me by $2 grand in a day or in a couple of days. What trading platform do you use, Gene? Are you using like one of the Robinhood, Webull, or are you on more of like the TD Ameritrade type stuff? That's dope though. Bought a $150 call on GME for $2,700. just the other day for fun. It squeezed hard. Yeah, I remember it hit 300 probably around that time. And he sold it and made $8,000 in profits. That's so dope. Congratulations, dude. What's up, Christopher Lowe? Good to have you in the chat. But yeah, man, laid back day today. It's a Thursday. The week's almost over. After this, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, TMI, log into Mad Society, see what's happening. And then I'm gonna obsess over these trades and launch some new campaigns. Then tonight, I'm gonna take edibles and work on music. I did some guitar work last night for this song about growing up in Being, Oklahoma. About us being broke, po white trash out in the woods. I mean, we burned our trash in a barrel. We burned our trash in a barrel because there was no trash pickup out there. There was no service that came by and picked up your garbage for you. That didn't exist. You were on your own, Jack. A lot of people just dumped their garbage in the woods. So you'd be driving down these dirt roads and you'd look to the right and there would just be a massive pile of garbage. People would just pull their trucks up, park them, kick everything out of the back of the truck and just drive away and leave it in the woods. We weren't litterers. We burned our trash like civilized people. I remember being a little kid out there with this big 50-gallon barrel. You put all the trash in and some gasoline in there and light it on fire. And that's, you know, God bless the environment. So Gene's using E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim. Yeah, Thinkorswim seems to be pretty popular. And Interactive Brokers. Okay, so you're all over the place. That's dope, man. I was day trading for a bit and I had to get around the pattern day trade rule. Yeah. So I funded a bunch of different accounts. Yeah, I lucked out with mine because I'm actually trading out of an existing retirement account that had a nice balance in it, so I didn't have to worry about the pattern day trading rule. I think what that is if you have less than $25,000 in your account, you can only trade like 3 times every 5 days. So if you buy and sell a stock 3 times in one day, you can't do it again for about another week. But if you have an account with over 25,000, you can do whatever you want. It's kind of a weird rule. It kind of seems like a way that they've been able to keep people from making money day trading. Because my God, if you don't have 25 grand, who has 25 grand to start day trading with? Just regular people in the world, none, no one. Young entrepreneur says, why don't you travel a lot? You seem like the type of guy that would be working in front of a beach in Bali. I don't like to travel at all. It's one of my least favorite things to do. I don't like driving to the airport. I don't like waiting to get on the plane. I don't like sitting on the plane trying to get to the location. And then most of the time when I get to wherever I'm going, I basically just want to go home. And after many, many years of, giving in to the peer pressure to travel, not a lot of international stuff, but just around the country, I just stopped, man. I'm not a traveler. I don't really have a big, if I wanted to travel, I've been invited to travel the world multiple times. I've been invited to speak at affiliate marketing conferences all over the world and declined. It's just not for me. I think there are people who like to travel and there are people who don't. And either way is fine. And maybe one day I'll change my mind, and the moment I do, I guarantee you, I will close down whatever home I'm living in, get a suitcase and a plane ticket and a passport, and maybe never be seen again. But right now, that's just not the case. All right, guys, time for me to go. We've just about hit an hour. We're going to close it out strong. Give me a couple likes on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you really want to be a power Mad Coffee family member, use the share button on YouTube. Let's try that. Hit share and share it on Facebook or Twitter and say something. Tag me in it and I'll find you. You don't have to. I'm saying it's just a suggestion. I want to see, because you guys have to remember, I'm not buying ads for this. You're my ad network. You're my distribution network. You're my record label. You're my PR department. If you like what we do here in the mornings, if you have a good time, click share, post it on Twitter or Facebook or something. We'll try to get one of your friends to watch. Did you have indoor plumbing at your home in Bing? Yeah, we did. We were one step above an outhouse. Although I do remember Mom digging a few holes in the yard a few times. Whether that meant the water hadn't been paid for, or that meant that one time we locked ourselves out of the house, and with 5 little kids, you know, things need to happen. And so she would grab a shovel and dig a hole, and you'd use the bathroom outside, and she'd cover it up, and hey, it worked. But no, I never lived in a place with an outhouse. We were outhouse adjacent. How's that? My favorite thing about our house was one time, either my mom's family or dad's family were over, and we were in the kitchen cooking, and someone was put on some music, and everyone started dancing in the kitchen, you know, dancing around. And the whole house started to rock back and forth to where everyone had to freeze because the house was going to fall off the cinder blocks or whatever it was sitting on. You could feel the house tipping as people danced and moved around the kitchen, and everyone all of a sudden went, oh my God, and froze because we thought there was an earthquake or something. But it was just that our house was up on, you know, concrete blocks or something, and it was about to fall off. But those kind of memories, like it's something out of a movie, and I wouldn't trade them for the world. My wish for everyone is that in their life they can be very, very poor and then be very, very stable financial-wise. Because man, growing up poor and then figuring out something for yourself is one of the greatest things that's on earth. We got one more question from my friend Ahmed. He says, I'm about to sign up for A4D. Should I sign up as a partner or an advertiser? Probably a partner. An advertiser, I think, is more of a product owner. I'm not for sure, though, but that's what that would mean to me. And Kim's saying partner, so there's a confirmation, a second opinion that agrees with me. Yeah, the terminology can get kind of confusing. That's great you're signing up for a network, man. Everyone's at their own stage in the game, and signing up for a network is a huge step in the right direction. You're making progress. DMG's got the coffee mugs. Saurabh checking in. You guys, it's been great talking with you this morning. I hope we at least, if nothing else, energized you for the day. Gave you a little something to think about, a good way to waste half an hour. No, we're 60 minutes in, my goodness. I'm gonna close this down, check these stocks, check these campaigns, and I pray that all of you have a great day. If you like what we did today, drop a like, a comment, a subscribe, share it on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, whatever you're on. And if you want to say what's up on the replay, drop a comment in the comment field. And I try to get back to everybody in the comments, unless they're crazy comments. We do get a lot of those. So I'm going to tip my hat to you. Everybody have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to Morning Coffee with Malan D and the worldwide Morning Coffee family. Our numbers are getting bigger and bigger all the time. Maybe next week we'll set a new record. Last week we set a concurrent viewers record. And you can't do that every week. Unless you're talking about GME and AMC exclusively. I've watched those channels go from 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers in a few weeks. That stuff is, you want to get famous on YouTube real quick? Start a stock trading daily live stream. They're streaming for like 5, 6, 7 hours straight. But for me, this is enough. You guys are enough for me. Everybody have a great day. I love the squirrel, the squirrel emoji, Rashni Gandhi. DMG says coffee and canna cheers. Hey, cheers to that. Billy Bell, coffee mugs all over the place. Ahmed says see you all in the future. Thank you for the lovely session. You bet, man. DMG, I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. your time. Kim, Ahmed, Akau, DMG, Gene, Billy, my goodness, Christopher, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, man. And as always, I will see you bright and early tomorrow for the last stream of the week in the future. And that's right.